Hey everyone, you're listening to Dirt Grow Podcast with your host, David Burma. All right, super excited to get started here with Dirt Grow Podcast, and we got another special guest here from Glencoe, Southwestern Ontario, cash crop farmer. And you know what? I mean, this guy's got to get almost the title for the biggest redneck in Southwestern Ontario. I don't know, but anyways, here it is, John Phillips, and he's an amazing cash crop farmer, and all full disclosure, a great customer for LaSalle Agri. That's not why we brought him on, but we just like interesting, unique people, and that's John. So, to get started, John, you're the type of guy that kind of, last time I saw you show up for an event, you showed up in a motorcycle, right? And in the summertime. And the thing was like pre-war era.
It's post-war.
Post-war.
Yeah.
Like what year was that motorcycle?
47.
47, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not because you couldn't afford a new motorcycle. You have a few of them, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
how many?
8 or 10, I don't know.
That's awesome. And you spent like, what was it, 20 minutes to get the thing started afterwards or whatever?
Yeah, I guess I was having some difficulty with it, but I think we got that straightened out.
That's good. That's awesome. So, so you cash crop farm down on some sandy loam, a little bit of clay towards the Glencoe area in Southwestern Ontario, and you're doing about 1,500 acres, you're saying. Is that correct? 1,500?
Yeah, or just under.
Yeah. And you don't rent land. It's mostly owned yourself. I'm curious about your practice because every farmer has a different practice, right? And you don't spend a lot on equipment. Is that correct?
No, but that's catching up with me.
Oh, really? Tell me.
Oh, I struggled this fall with harvest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So your combine, you have one combine?
Two.
And what would your combine be worth if you sold it to the market today?
5 cents a pound.
Yeah. So you need to upgrade to like a 10 cents a pound combine or what?
Yeah, I got to do something. Yeah. We struggled this year. Other years I've done really well, but this year I've had problems almost every day and some major stuff. And just good thing I had parts around because I didn't spend any money though. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You just use parts.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that stuff. See, I'm not very mechanically inclined, so that's pretty cool. So did you get started at what, like, did you sense that you're going to be a farmer when you were young or
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
yeah. Grade school sort of thing.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And you had other brothers and sisters?
Yep.
Okay. They weren't interested?
Sisters weren't. I don't know about my brother, but he didn't really get involved. No.
Okay. Was he older or younger?
Younger.
Younger. Okay. And so at grade school, you're like, yeah, I'm not into schooling. This is not for me. I'm going to go farming.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So what grade did you go to?
12.
12.
I finished high school.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Not everybody comes on the show gets finished high school. No, good. So I've been to your place a few times. Those bins, have you built all those bins, those grain bins?
Yes.
All of them yourself. And you go out and buy a used one, take it down, and put it back up again?
We've done one at home.
Okay.
One
new one or one used one?
One used one.
The rest were new?
The rest were new, yeah.
You would just buy in, deliver the parts, price delivered?
No, I had them put them up.
You'd have them put them up. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And what would be the percentage? You're 50% corn? Would you be?
No. 2/3 or 3/4 corn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well. So you like corn?
Yep.
Is it because your soil likes corn?
Yep.
Yeah. So a little lighter soil.
Yeah. We struggle with soybean yields. Like,
right.
We've been pulling 50, 55s, but to get a 60 is tough.
Yep.
And, you hear guys pulling 70 or 80 out there, and that's just impossible.
Yeah. Well, it's impossible for us too, so I don't know. Maybe some of it's just hearsay on that one.
Yeah.
So corn just works better, you find yourself. Yeah. And so some of those fields would be corn on corn?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they're just that light of ground that you just want to be doing that.
Yeah.
Good. And you handle a lot of alternative solution for fertilizers, such as the cell aggregate pellets, and you get into sometimes the biosolids and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. And how long have you been doing that for?
I don't know. When did Harry introduce me to that stuff?
Yeah, probably 15, 17 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was it Dad, eh? Dad that introduced you?
Yeah.
Really? Interesting. So how did he actually come to you and sell it to you, or what was the strategy there? Or just saw you at
Yeah, he talked to us.
Yeah.
That's going back.
Wow. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, maybe around 05, 06.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So how do you determine, like, you have older equipment, like your planters, your tractors, how do you determine what to buy, what not to buy, what to get a hold of? Like, you kind of buy older stuff. Like, how do you determine what you're going towards?
Simplicity.
Yeah.
Something I can turn a wrench on.
Yeah.
I don't need to plug it in.
Yeah. So what would your bigger tractor be? Like what type of tractor would that be?
Well, I got John Deere 8870 to pull Limpkin.
Yeah.
That's the biggest. And then the next, I've got a couple 4960s and a 4955.
Yeah. So you specific to color?
I like green tractors.
Yeah. Why?
I think they're good quality.
Good quality? Yeah. Simple to fix?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. And what would you use for planters and stuff?
I got a 7200.
Okay.
12 row for corn.
Yeah.
And a 1780 23 row for beans.
Okay. And would your window be a little bit more open than most farmers because you're on sandier soils? You can get out there a little earlier. You can kind of go more flexible schedule and that kind of stuff.
A little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Because we got the odd farm that is all sand, but we got some that are mixed.
Yeah.
Sand knolls and clay low holes, and they're challenging.
Yep. So the sand. What are you doing to compensate for, like, trying to get organic matter? Just the solid agri boost or some biosolids. Is there any other products you can use that you found to solve the sharp sand issues?
That's tough. I got one farm that I've got quite a bit of chickweed on, and to be honest with you, I kind of like it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just let it do its thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't kill it out?
No.
So then what do you do in the fall? Do you work it under?
I'm thinking, the Limpkin kind of disturbs it enough, and then you hit it in the spring, and you can get a pretty good seed
so does
bed.
the chickweed kind of die out a little bit, come a little later? Is that the thing with the
chickweed?
And
then when you spray with, like, we use Halex GT.
Okay.
So you're going in there at like 4-leaf corn. You clean it up.
Yeah.
You don't want it out of control beyond that. That's for sure.
Right. Interesting. So what? So your program on farming. What's your key to success? Is it? Just low input costs. Make sure your
low debt.
Low debt. Low input costs. Don't spend a lot of machinery. Don't have much debt. Mm-hmm. Run a profit.
Run a profit.
Yeah. Keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple. Buy a chunk of land when you can and pay for it.
Yeah. Cool. And what do you think? Like, we had a real run up in prices on land last little while. We have high interest rates now. We're sitting at 7% interest. What's land worth in your territory right now, and where is your sweet spot? Like, if land's, would it be worth 20K right now? 17?
I would say, though, no, I'd be 20 or north.
20. And is there a number that you go back in and buy? Or is it the right kind of ground you're looking for, or? For
me, I want something close.
Close.
I'm going to buy something that's close now.
Got it.
Yeah.
And would it be the right type of ground too? Like, you have a soil type that you're looking at typically?
Well, my area is pretty nice anyway.
Yeah,
so.
You do have nice ground. Yeah. There's areas there that don't they grow some vegetables like in that close to that area? No.
They have. Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's nice soil there. No, I know what you're talking about. I mean, it's a little bit light for some of it for what we're used to, but in general, it's pretty nice dirt. So, John, so your dad, he's getting older. He's helping a little bit. What's the goal? Like, next generation. Do you have two kids? What do you how do you encourage them, or are they already motivated, or you just have more kids to eventually find the one that'll take over or something? What do you do? What's the?
Yeah, I don't know that I got much of a plan there. I got two boys, but we'll see what they want to do.
Right. Yeah. They have any inclination right now?
A little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
Not what I had, I don't think. But
right. And what do you think? Like, is it just to be successful in farming? What is it to be like? A young guy starting out. Is it it looks pretty difficult, or is there? What would you do? Doing it all over again? What would you do? How would you start? If you didn't have, the family background, that kind of stuff, where would you go?
Oh, fuck. I don't know. I can't answer that.
No,
because I was very fortunate.
Right.
Yeah. I had an opportunity.
Yeah.
I took it.
Yeah.
And not bad timing.
Right. Yeah. But you know what? Inflation always happens. My dad was talking with this. He said,
yeah.
He was talking the time period that it went from, what was it?
It'll be the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, it went from $600 an acre, and then went to 6,000. And from there it's gone from, like, this is only a short period of time, really, when you consider it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Went from 6,000, now we're at 20,000, right? Who's not saying, like, even I was buying trucks the other day, and I was asking about it, and he was like, yeah, no, during about a year or two ago, there was such demand for our trucks. Prices were pretty reasonable compared to the other competition. But he says every year we raise it 4% consistently. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. We kind of forget about that, right? They just keep consistently raise it 4%, steady Eddie, and it just happens because inflation's there no matter what, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a thing people ignore is that inflationary time. They think it does go up and down, but in general, it's going to be
it's always trending up.
Yeah, it's always trending up, right? So using that for your advantage is important to realize, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a farmer. So I think it's kind of cool though that honestly, I think sometimes I look at what you do and farmers like you, the style of keeping the costs really low. I mean, we actually ended up selling two of our combines. Our last one, we got all of our stuff done custom, just because honestly, like, we don't have the strengths and talents in managing our costs on combines, right? And knowing where that should be and where that should be at, right? And so it's like, if we know we're paying, $50-$55 an acre to get it done, we know our costs. We've identified it.
Yeah.
Right. And
because what are some guys paying a year to maintain a machine?
I know. That's a huge part. And the problem is that if you don't know what your maintenance cost is, the problem is that, especially if you hired people, like, we have good mechanics, right? They don't manage it based on, they look at a part and if you're really inclined to know what you're doing, you'll manage that part and say, yeah, I get one more season, I can push a little bit further.
Yeah.
Right. But you hire mechanics and it goes, they look at a part, it's half a wire, they might just pitch it, right? Because they don't have the scrutiny that an owner would, right?
Yeah,
on this machine. Then the next problem is that what's the sweet spot in replacing it? Is it 1,500 separator hours? Is it 3,000 separator hours? Where that's at? Because the number, the purchase number always keeps on changing.
Yeah.
Right. So back big combines now $1 million. Yeah, the big ones, right?
Yeah.
New. So, like, where do you now buy at? And I think the guys that are buying multiple units and that kind of stuff, they're getting multiple discounts, and it's probably working for them still, right? It doesn't matter if it's a combine or it's a tractor or whatever. They're buying multiple units, they're using for a year or two, and they're flipping back out. It's still working. But for anybody that's buying one piece of equipment and they're running it for 3 or 4 or 5 years, the problem is you don't know what A, your costs are, right? But B, especially what your resale value is. And then when you start putting in interest rates in there, that's the one thing people quite often are not thinking about real well. But I think that's going to start changing a bit right now. It's got to be that new combines and new big tractors and expensive equipment's got to be slowing down. Because who can crunch the numbers on that kind of numbers and at 7%, right? I know I'm not.
Well,
right?
No, you're probably not big enough to.
But even the fence I was buying, were close to 300,000. Those same fence are close to 450 now. And there's they changed
half
the model
as much again,
stuff, right? But it's half again.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Agriculture has adjusted way more than commercial stuff. Like trucks semi trucks were just on a gradual increase, right? You can buy a loaded up semi truck now with $225,000, right? Well, that before, when I first started buying, they were 180.
Yeah.
Right. So they've gone up, but they haven't doubled.
No. Nope.
Right? So it's just agriculture's been really.
There's not enough volume.
That's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not enough volume, not enough competition.
Yeah.
Like there's only two main ones, like green and red. I mean, I think other ones are coming in, right? The horse planters and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They don't get bought out, right? Actually, we're looking at new sprayers, and if we were to do it today, we're looking at the horse sprayer. Believe it or not, because of the options and the price and that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
It's kind of interesting how there are some products coming in, but I think technology is advancing it too, right? To keep the price inflated, because it's just getting that much more done with equipment, right?
Yeah.
The X9 combines, right? They're trying to get done. I know one guy specifically went down from 3 combines down to 2.
Oh yeah.
Got the X9 and gone down to 2 combines. But my problem is with it. I'll tell you another reason why I got away from it is because that the tine, if one tine goes to the combine, right, the cultivator tine, it doesn't matter if you have.
Yeah, it's down.
It's down, right? It's down no matter what.
Yeah.
And if that's your only combine now.
Yeah.
And you have wheat to plant behind it, you're screwed.
Yep.
Right. And that's why I was not interested. That's why I'm like, I look at the whole thing. I'm like, no, you know what? Get somebody else that's willing to invest 2 or 3 combines.
Yeah.
And take off our acres. And, if it comes up, they have a rock that goes through. It's not on us, right? It's on them. So.
Yeah. Well, it's been a good thing I've had 2 machines around because we've had some major failures and that got us out of a pinch, right? But I don't know. That's what I'm struggling with now is what to buy, and because I don't want to spend $300,000-$400,000 on a unit either.
I'm looking at them now though. I saw it just a little bit ago. I think it was at 9660 or 9770, which are beautiful combine John Deere's. And they were I think it was 15 to 1600 separator. I was in the teens, right? And they were wanting 110K Canadian, and I think that's a good deal. That's a good. Price range,
but
right?
where are you finding one of them with that low hours?
They're out there. It's on Facebook or something like that. I should send it to you next time. There's a guy down.
Because everything I'm seeing is 4,000 hours on them.
Yeah.
You're going into them.
I'll double check it. I know the guy exactly that was selling it. It was down by. But maybe you're just so off of technology. Maybe you just don't see stuff.
Maybe I don't know.
You don't get Wi-Fi or data over there. He's out in the boondocks. He doesn't get that kind of stuff. So what's your opinion on politics, John? What's your opinion there? You loving how things are going right now? Or how
He's really got it going on.
Yeah. No, it's a struggle, right, with the ideology that comes out, right, for us.
Yeah.
They want to cut fertilizer by 30%. They had this idea, right? And I don't know how you do that. How do you cut fertilizer? How do you cut nitrogen by 30% and grow still 250 bushel of corn?
Well,
have you figured that one out?
No, but
they seem to figure it out pretty well.
in a way we have improved our efficiency.
Of course we have. Well, I always say
hugely because I don't know, we're growing 220 bushel corn now. We're not putting that much more on than we did in the 80s.
100%. And what's interesting is that the best way for our farmer, if you want a farmer to run efficiently, raise the prices, which they have. Right? Yeah. When nitrogen went to $1 a pound last year.
Oh, yeah. We scrutinize.
Yeah, of course you do. You start seeing commodity prices lower and interest rates, nitrogen raise. Yeah. You start squeezing those numbers, right? Oh, yeah. You don't have to worry about a farmer being economically friendly on using less fertilizer if you have high prices, which that's what they are.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, farmers will, why would we want to overspend anything?
Well, you don't.
You don't.
No.
It's craziness. right?
Because honestly, we don't run on that big of a margin.
No, we don't. No, it's like, it's the only business. It's kind of funny. If anybody came to you today with any good product and say, listen, we'll give you a 10% discount if you buy volumes, what would you say? Corn seed, spray. What would you do? Today, got a 10% discount.
Maybe.
Yeah, because we rarely get 10% discounts.
Yeah.
We get excited about 5%. Right? We get excited about 5%.
Sometimes.
No, but in general.
Yeah.
Like our corn seed, do you get a discount this year over last year?
No.
No, price went what? Up.
Yeah.
No. And if you got together with 5 other guys, you
It's
might
all
get
the same.
Exactly. You might get 5%, 10%. You don't get huge volume discounts.
No, usually you find yourself a dealer that treats you good and
you're just happy with the service.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. People don't realize that, like, even, we're a larger farmer. And when they call me up and they say, hey, I got 28% nitrogen for sale, right? Mm-hmm. And they say, hey, the price is whatever. The beginning of this year is $330, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I got that information from another farmer that was only getting 1 truckload, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I called up and says, it's $330. He says, yeah, okay, I'll take 20 loads, right? But I didn't get no discount over the guy that got 1 load. And a lot of farmers think that, like, oh, you're a bigger farmer, you're getting these big discounts. You ain't getting hardly any discount whatsoever.
That's...
Right?
Yeah, it's if you can take it, that's what you're getting.
That's right. That's it. Right. Which is, but then we get all that done. Right. We buy these prices, and BASF and Bayer aren't giving you discounts. Right. The price is what it is. I mean, the fertilizer, it's margin thin to the retailer. It's margin thin to begin with, and so there's not hardly any margin there. But when we get to the marketplace, right, to sell the product, we're subject to the open market, right? So corn's at $6.50 in Chicago. If you're able to get that same price in Canadian funds here, you're excited about it. You're like, I'll take it. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is. Like if you do the exchange from Chicago prices to our current prices, you get excited about it. So it's the only business the saying is you all pay retail and then you sell wholesale.
Yep, it's always been like that. Yeah.
Like,
that's our business model.
That's right.
That's right.
If you buy like a part from John Deere or anywhere, you're paying like for this part that you look at it like, if this was automotive, that $1,000 part would have been $200.
Yeah.
If it was automotive, but because it's agriculture, you're paying the $1,000, right? And where you're going to get the option of buying somewhere else, you're not, because it's specific to that product.
Yeah.
Right. So no, it's definitely a difficult business, and there's very, very low margins in the business, right? Subject to what society's thinking. So where John, where is the long-term success? Is it in the cash flow, or is it in your investments? How do you look at it?
Oh, it's in your investments.
In your investments.
That land asset.
Yeah. Yeah. It's holding on to that asset.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I've never understood this. Like, what are guys paying for rent right now?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think 300 to 600.
Yeah. And this is what I always wondered. Like, I think when farmer rents land, I think they're only looking for $100 net. Do you think so? Like, do you think
it could be? Because we rented our farms out in the early 2000s.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I had one farmer asking about it, and they were willing to work on like $10 or $20 back then.
Really?
Like, give your fucking head a shake, right?
Yeah. That's crazy. Wow. No, it's very, and I've said the same thing. It's if you're not going after the return on investment, you gotta be working on the return on investment. I remember always saying, like, it's a cash per investment risk business, right? The whole farming thing is.
Yep.
And I always suggest guys, like, you're doing the right way because you're keeping your expenses low and that kind of stuff. But you're further ahead to go find another job or another business that you can add to your business of farming, so you can actually get the cash flow coming in. Because if you're dependent on building your farm operation slowly on cash crop farming, it's a really slow process.
It takes lifetimes.
It takes a lifetime.
Yes.
I know. Yeah. You live poor and you die rich, right?
Yeah.
And they talk about all the farmers like being rich, but they didn't live rich.
No, nobody does.
No.
If they did, they're broke.
Yeah, that's right. Because there's not enough cash flow to make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another misunderstanding. Like, yes, farmers are very wealthy, But it's not because they lived wealthy. It's not because they had a lot of cash to live on. It's all because their investments went up in value.
Yeah, well, you look at any other business, like really their overhead's quite low compared to their revenue.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. Like if people actually understood like the amount of debt farmers run on and on both equipment and the land and the margin they're working with on the day, it's just super, super thin, right?
Yeah.
Super thin. So John, the liberals are helping you out, it seems like. That's good to know. And so family, you're gonna wait around, see if your sons turn out and are interested in farming. Yeah. And you do a little bit of what else do you do? A little bit of wood cutting and for firewood and that kind of stuff in the wintertime, fixing equipment, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah.
Cool. And so any other opportunities you see in farming going forward for yourself? Is there other crops? Is there other opportunities? Do you check into canola? Is that an opportunity for you in the future? Is there?
Well, maybe. I've been thinking about it.
Yeah. How about veggies? You ever rented out for veggie farmers? Your land?
Back when we rented out,
it was veggie farmers.
Yeah, family tradition.
Yeah. Okay.
For a while.
You know, we rent like 100 acres out a year, maybe two to tomato farmers. They pay you very, very well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and with they look after a bit of your fertilizer too. You know, they top it up, potash and that kind of stuff. So it's a pretty good program. They like nice dirt, so that might be an option for you.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's just a couple hundred acres or whatever, right? So
yeah.
But that's been a good program for us. So what do you say? You know, I've been separated and for 10 years and you know, looking at, you know, going to marriage and that kind of stuff. Do you recommend for farmers to you know, is there like a prenup you recommend or whatever? You know, you've been in and out once, right, of marriage. What do you do the second time? Prenup or what do you do? Do you have any suggestions for me?
Well, I guess you should.
Yeah. Or offshore account or something like that, or what do you do?
I don't know.
No? Because a lot of farmers have that situation, right? I mean, you talk about second generation, third generation, right? They have a bit of money and that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And we have a situation in life that you're dealing with where, you know, you're always in that situation that you don't want to be in a situation where your next generation, you know, you hold it for your next generation, for your children and that kind of stuff, right?
Well, and I've been thinking about that a lot. And I've been kind of wondering about a trust or something.
Trust, yeah.
Because if my boys don't want to take it.
That's true.
What about beyond that?
I agree with you.
I'm a little more interested in that legacy than.
I agree with you. I built a trust recently. And that's the concept. And I actually put it in my will recently that my children can work as an employee. And that the person that's looking after my will manage it in a way that the child that has the most interest as an employee will then become the manager of the trust of the of the business. And then eventually that person would then be basically the manager of that trust for future generations, right? That's kind of how it is. So yeah, I would really recommend that. And I can give you a really good accountant after this that puts it together well. Believe me, went through a few accountants. To finding good financial people is super difficult.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I agree. Trust is good. I just see people talk about offshore accounts and that kind of stuff, not for any other reason other than, you know, keeping that next level of security, right? It's not.
I guess, but if you need to hide some money for some reason.
No, nothing for that reason. It's just for the fact of that separation.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't know if prenups are that well. I'm not gonna. I mean, the thing is too, you got to understand. I think it makes a little difference too when you're getting married. The problem is the people that probably need the prenup more than anybody is the younger generation, the people that are getting married 20 years old. Because what do we know now when we're 30 and 40?
Yeah, a lot more than that.
Right? A lot more on the relationship side than we knew when we were 20, right? And I think that's something that. You know, I think it's important, you know, especially for the fact of trying to leave a legacy, leave a generational thing that you're talking about, right? And I, you know, it's not for the sake of I'm not looking after our spouse or children, but actually quite the contrary, right? If we know how to manage and we're good stewards to what we deal with and what we look after, then having that so it's stable and solid. I mean, we're only so solid. I mean, we're going to die tomorrow, and we're only here to be stewards of our stuff. I'm just saying, to be good stewards to what we have day to day. I think it's something to think about. I don't think farmers think about it enough quite often. Right?
No, probably not.
Yeah, and they go through challenges and struggles and that kind of stuff. So definitely went through it myself, and I was good thing I was 30 years old and I cleared it off when I was doing it, right? So we separated ways and we dealt with it one time. But as you get older and older, that risk gets higher and higher, right? So
that's right. Your window to do something's getting shorter.
100%, right? So yeah. Anyways, I mean, I was saying it tongue in cheek, but there's some responsibility in that, right? Cool. Anything else you gotta say, John? What's your experience been with the pellets? What's the experience working with us? I'm just kind of curious about that. It's not a reason why I brought you on, but I was just wondering how that was. What's that journey been like? Well,
it's all been good.
Yeah. Is there things we could do better?
I missed the Toronto pellets.
Oh yeah. We ran into that deal a while ago. Yeah. The stuff heated up, but they were good pellets, weren't they? Yeah.
Now the stuff that Brent's got me getting, it's interesting. I want to see how it goes, and then maybe we should get our own spreader for that.
Yeah. Well, before you go think of one, we can always sell you one. We got extras.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're actually building one right now.
Oh yeah.
We fabricate them from scratch now.
Yeah.
So the product you're handling is quite light, so we're building heavier spreaders right now. So
that's that wet stuff out of the
pond. Yeah. But you're talking the heavier stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, man, that's a little different. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little different. Then you have to go to Hagedorn or something like that if you're going to look for some of that, right? Some other spreader or some of that. Yeah. Good. No, and do you buy any lime through Brent, or you just kind of use dolomitic lime mostly, right? On that level? So, yeah. Dolomitic's better. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really need calcium.
No. What does dolomitic have in again? Manganese, magnesium?
Magnesium. Yeah.
Magnesium. That's necessary for the sand soil.
Yeah, that's what we're short on.
Yeah. Good. John, is there anything else you want to share while you have the moment? Talk about life. Talk about
I don't know.
Nothing else. Well, thanks for showing up, John. It's a pleasure. I love talking to you. I love seeing you at wherever I go, because you just have a style that's you don't really give a rip about a whole lot of stuff in life. You just kind of enjoy life and what's been given to you, and appreciate it day to day time, right?
Yeah, so I try to take every challenge as it comes and not worry about too much.
That's why I love John Phillips right there. That's what it is. He just takes it a day at a time and he enjoys as he goes, and I appreciate it. Thanks for coming out, John. It's kind of a quiet time of year, snow on the ground. And
kind of. I'm not done yet.
Yeah, gotta fix those combines up.
Yeah.
Or are you gonna bother?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm still
debating.
I'm gonna fix one up for sure, and maybe try and find something.
Yeah. Well, I'll try to get that contact for you afterwards.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. Dirt Grow Podcast. Thanks for coming out for tuning in. Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks for listening to Dirt Grow Podcast, where every Tuesday we dish out the dirt. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and check out dirtgrow.com for more content and episodes. I'll see you next Tuesday. Ciao.